I was watching the American press spew a lot of misinformation about the plane donation last week when we were abroad. Let's be very clear. The government of Qatar, the Qatari family, has offered to donate this plane to the United States Air Force. This plane is not a personal donation or a gift to the President of the United States. And everyone who wrote that last week should go and correct their stories, because this is a donation to our country. The President, frankly, has nothing to do with it. It's the Air Force's project to take on.
So Karoline Leavitt knows what her job is. She knows that soul is not a thing anymore. You don't have that. You sold that for power and access, and she'll have like a Fox show someday, or she'll be the governor of a Republican state, I suppose. So she just told a bunch of absolutely wild lies. This is not a personal thing, even though he's gonna take the plane. It's not to him, even though, again, he's gonna take the plane. Wildly corrupt. There is no way that if Joe Biden had done this, she would not be vilifying and pillaring him for this, and she would be right to do so. But I'm glad that she told those lies yet again to make this new turn in the story, where we find out how even more corrupt it is than we thought, look even worse for her, because there she says, they offered to donate this plane, get off his back. This despotic regime decided to give the biggest bribe that's ever existed to an American politician, and that was their decision to make. Now, notably, that doesn't make it any less of a bribe. I'm sure there's many foreign individuals, officials, parties, corporations that would love to bribe American politicians. It's still wrong, but it turns out that's not even what actually happened. It wouldn't be okay, but it's also not what happened. The Trump administration apparently first approached Qatar. It was them who approached them looking to acquire a Boeing 747 that could be used as Air Force One, directly contrary to the idea, the narrative they have been spreading since day one, that it was the president who reached out and offered the jet as a gift. It's their idea, they're just so friendly. He specifically asked for this. Now, he did not, at least based on the current reporting, ask for it to be a $400 million gift. They were implying that they would lease it, it seems like, but it was their idea. So again, like it's already illegal. He should go to jail if he accepts this. At the very least, he should never get his grubby little hands on it for his own personal use, which is definitely where this is going. But it was also his idea. He's the one pushing for foreign governments to bribe him. And so let's talk about why he started to do this. Why go to Qatar? Why try to get this plane? So after he took office in January, the Pentagon contacted Boeing and was told the company would not be able to deliver the new jets it was building to replace the aging presidential planes for another 2 years. At the same time, Trump tasked his Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, with finding a list of viable planes. Third source that CNN had recalled that the initial discussions were about leasing the plane rather than buying it outright. Now that would have been bad. I assume he wouldn't have ended up with it in that case. So I guess that would have been better, that the American taxpayer would just be buying another luxury jet for him, because he can't bear to fly around for 2 years on the current Air Force One. And so, as bad as all this is, illegal, corrupt, all that, I just want you to stop for a second to focus on the fact that this guy is so utterly elitist and so used to being on these fabulous private jets that he can't take it for 2 years. And he sent his Middle East envoy to go find planes. I want you to stop and think for a sec. Are there things happening in the Middle East that maybe our envoy should be focused on? Wars, genocide, problems with pirates, let's say even from their point of view, trying to contain Iran and all that, trying to lock down new allies. Nope, forget about all of it. The interior of this plane isn't nice enough. Steve, get over there and find me a better one. I want plush seats. Forget the genocide. I got that. You don't need to do any like diplomacy. I'm just gonna occasionally pop up and be like, we're gonna steal Gaza. That's it, we're good. Don't even worry about that. You go get me a plane. He's not your personal shopper, dude. He's supposed to be your head diplomat, your like main person. And so instead, that's what he was doing, because I gotta have nice bathrooms, man. Trump needs better bidets. His butt can't take it anymore, America. And so if that means he takes a massive bribe, and if that means American foreign policy is manipulated to benefit Qatar, then that's what's needed. As Woozle points out, he needs rich Corinthian leather. Okay, this strong man needs plusher seats to sit on. And so that's the most recent reporting. So Karoline Leavitt, who already is arguably one of the biggest liars we've ever had inflicted on us, another level of lie right there. Well, I've alluded to Steve Witkoff. Why don't we delve into that portion of the story for a second? Brooke says, Corinth is known for its leather, and I appreciate that reference. Anyway, let's jump to this. According to new reporting, Donald Trump sent his Middle East advisor all around the Middle East just looking for a nice jet, just going to all of these regimes and setting aside the human rights abuses and the devastation wrought on their own populations. You gotta find me a new jet, man. And Steve Witkoff was apparently successful in that. He either just convinced or strong-armed Qatar to offer the biggest bribe that has ever existed. And he was asked about that plane actually recently. So why don't we check in on the guy who apparently was behind this whole thing.
Do you have any concerns about this? I mean, what do the Qataris expect in return for a $400 million present, essentially to the United States?
Well, first of all, John, it's a perfectly legal transaction. It's been vetted by White House counsel, by the Justice Department. There are outside law firms involved. So it's a perfectly legal government to government, Department of Defense to Department of Defense transaction. I'm not sure how anyone would see this as the Qataris looking to gain some sort of advantage. We have an advantage because of their largesse and them looking to invest in our country, and I think all of that is to be commended.
Okay, so just bear in mind, he knew that it wasn't, again, that they just went and they just gave it to him out of the goodness of their heart or whatever. He knows the entire plot. He knows that Donald Trump is a spoiled little rich boy who needs a really fancy jet. And he knew that his job, this full-grown elderly man, I guess, was just going from dictator to dictator, looking for who's gonna give him the nicest plane or whatever. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate his answer to that question. Because John Carl, I think that was, John Carl's like, what do you think they might want in return for this present? And Steve Witkoff did like a solid moment. Hey, it's not illegal. This is totally, I talked to that person. There was a lawyer, maybe not a real one. We don't really have those, but like Alina Habba thinks it's cool. What are you talking about illegal? Dude, he didn't say anything about the legality of it. Arguably, he should have. I would have loved for him to focus on that aspect. He didn't talk at all about it being illegal. So, little bit, Steve Witkoff, a little defensive there about the legality. And so, yeah, no, Steve Witkoff, obviously, like every one of them, he knows it's a bribe. And he knows that you get bribes for things you've already done or things that you plan to do. And so the idea that they would give the biggest bribe that's ever existed and expect nothing in return is madness. Steve Witkoff does not believe that. None of these people believe that. If Hunter Biden was given a fancy Razor scooter by the UAE, that's all they would talk about on Fox for 6 months. They understand that these gifts are a potential problem. And so, oh my God, so utterly pathetic there. But I do think we have a little bit more. Setting aside Steve Witkoff, you're not gonna get anything honest out of him. And arguably, you're not gonna get that out of this next guy either. But Steve Besant was asked about the gift again by Jake Tapper. So let's see how he did.
You're a hard-nosed businessman. Even if Qatar isn't asking for anything in return now for the jet, I mean, that's a bill that could come due. Nobody in the Middle East gives things or anywhere in the world, just gives a $400 million jet just to be nice.
Well, I don't know, Jake. The French gave us the Statue of Liberty. The British gave us the Resolute desk. I'm not sure they asked for anything in advance.
Well, I will just say about the Statue of Liberty, I mean, that was authorized by Congress and it belongs to the American people. It doesn't belong to whoever was president at the time.
Well, I think that this plane would be a gift to the American government.
Yeah, do you think that? Do you think a gift? So when you get a gift, how long do you generally keep it? Because I've always thought it's like a forever thing, like it's mine. But like, is it a gift if it's like you can have it for 3 years? Not even really, because it's gonna take. They got to transfer it. They got to upgrade it. The American people will have this gift insofar as Donald Trump gets to fly around on it and not them for what, a year and a half, 2 years, and then Trump is gonna steal it? Bissent, I know that you're a hard-nosed businessman or whatever puffery Jake Tapper needs to do to make you comfortable with the fact that he's gonna push back against the most epic corruption we've ever experienced. He doesn't believe that. None of them believe that. He knows it's a bribe. They all know it's a bribe. It's just a bribe. I don't know why Jake Tapper can't just say that. He's implying it. That's good. I guess that's better than most of these people or whatever. And I appreciate Jake Tapper taking a moment out from promoting his book to ask an important question about the current president. But no, they all know it. And again, like Congress approved the transfer of the Statue of Liberty. How much did the Resolute desk cost? Maximum $300 million, maximum. And again, it's still there, because it was given to the government. It wasn't given to an individual. And I guess I would say I don't understand, but I do understand. You all understand. Why don't they just make it a permanent thing that he can't take? And then that would be it for the conversation. Trump desperately wants to fly around on this. He'll get to for a year or two. And then that's it. You can't steal it from the government. And why did Jake Tapper not ask that question? Why did Carl not ask that question? Again, this is not rhetorical. Why is no one proposing making it contingent on him not transferring it to his library afterward? It's as if that's illegal to do in the media. I literally do not understand that. And so he's going to try to take it. He's 100% going to use it for the 5 days or so he'll survive past his presidency. The entire thing is just incredibly frustrating.